In this video, we're going to build a 6-foot long table that's 40 inches wide with a removable top out of 6/4 ash wood. This is how the table looks at the end. But let's take it back to the beginning. Initially, I just bought a bunch of 6/4 ash wood. I had to make sure that I had enough width to be 40 inches, length to be 60 inches, and thickness to be 1.5 inches. Ultimately, I started everything like I start every other project, which is milling down the wood. I ran it through the planer, I ran it through the table saw, I cut it to its rough dimensions, making sure that I took out any knots or any unwanted pieces of wood. Then I started to assemble everything because although it's going to be a very structurally sound table, it needs to be aesthetically pleasing. Anyways, I quickly realized my table saw needed a new blade, so I went ahead and did that. It was burning my wood and I didn't want burned wood. So I gave everything a nice clean cut. And as you see, I don't use dominoes or dowels or anything. Just some wood glue, some clamps, and time. I basically just put 2 pieces together at one time. I clamp it down using a few clamps, 4, 5, or 6. I don't use a whole lot of clamps, but I make sure I get some at the beginning, at the middle, and at the end. It's pretty basic, and I really don't know why people don't build tables like this more often. Anyway, then I just make sure I clean up any glue. I check for any seams, being out of alignment. After some time, I then remove all the clamps. And I used squeeze clamps as cauls because I didn't want to use cauls. Once I give it a good old structure test, I then continue with all my other pieces, ultimately leaving me with these 6 pieces. Once I have all my 6 pieces, I put them through the planer and the table saw just to give it its final dimensions. If I noticed any seams out of alignment or any little divots or whatever, I use this product here called plastic wood, and I just rub it into the seam and then I sand it flush, and it makes everything easy peasy lemon squeezy. Anyways, once I have all my pieces together, I leave the middle open. Ultimately, I do this because it's much easier to cut a 22-inch table than a 40-inch table. So everything has to be perfect for this last glue up. And again, no dominoes, no dowels, nothing fancy, just wood glue and clamps. And of course, time, because it needs to cure. Anywho, once I get all my tabletop aligned exactly how I want it, I do a dry fit, then I put on my glue, and then once the glue is set, I start putting on my clamps. Now, in this case, I do use 6 clamps and 2 cauls, but you kind of get the point. You don't really need any fancy tools to make tabletops. Once my clamps are set, I clean up the glue, squeeze out, and then I put cauls. Then, with enough time, I let everything dry. I remove all my clamps, and I'm just looking for seams or any glue squeeze out, essentially any imperfections that I can correct right away. Once I see that there's no more imperfections to correct, then I start working on my leg assembly and aprons. These are just standard 4x4 pine from Home Depot and 2x4s for the aprons. I cut them down to manageable sizes and I start the milling process over again. If you have any cups in your tabletop or anything else before you start assembling, I use a hand planer. Another method I use, if there's just a little bit, I use a sander. I put whatever flat surface I have, whether it's a level or a 2x4 or what have you, I scoot it down ever so slightly, maybe 3 to 4 inches, and then I make a little line where all my highs are. Once where I determine all the highs are, I shade it all in, and then I just start sanding it. This doesn't work well if you have a lot of material to remove because it's going to take a long time, but for a little bit, it's perfect. Anyway, then I start cutting the tabletop itself to its final dimensions, so when I assemble the aprons, it's good to go. So what you do to one side, you do to the other, you check it for square, and then you're all set. Now it's time to start working on the legs. A standard table is about 30 inches tall. So we're going to have to cut down the lumber again, and we're going to add a removable top portion to the table top. That way, if you need to move it, or if you need to move or anything like that, it's super easy. I made this table for a friend, and ultimately she wanted the tabletop removable, which is how I like to build tables anyway. I then removed any imperfections from the wood, made little square holes, which I will then fill in later, but I didn't want that running through my planer or my jointer, so I just went ahead and did that. Once all my legs were to the proper dimensions, I then started working on the removable top portion and the aprons. Using painter's tape as a clamping mechanism is actually how I prevent myself from measuring everything a million times and making sure it's square. I just put the two pieces I want to be the same length together with the tape, and then I chop away. Ultimately, then you'll have both your aprons, and I had all my legs. Once all that said and done, I put it together, just dry fitting everything to make sure it looked how I wanted it to look, and it did. So before assembling it, I created a little sawdust glue contraption to plug up all my holes. And because these legs are going to be painted, and so are the aprons, they don't need to be perfect, they just need to be flat and flush. Any imperfections will be cleaned up with either the plastic wood, the glue, the sawdust, or the paint. Now, because I'm doing butt joints, I do 2 layers of glue. The first layer of glue I did is just to clog up all the pores. Then once that dries, I put a second layer of glue. That way it's actually using glue to stick to glue and to the wood. Once that's done, I put everything together, making sure it's plumb and square. I put a couple brad nails just to hold it in place, but the screws itself is what's going to give it its rigidity, plus the brad nails, plus the glue. So I do all 4 corners this way, and then I'm going to hide those screws. So don't you worry, that's coming next. Once everything's cured, I go ahead and start working on my leg assembly, which I'm going to use to cover those screws, and I'm going to use for the removable top. So I just put a couple brad nails in place, then I screw that together, and because this is a minimalistic type table, I'm going to hide all the hardware within the legs and its components. And that's why you see me do it this way. So then that way we can hide it. Anywho, so what you do to one side, you do to all 4 sides. Once it's cured, then I tested its strength by doing some kung fu type moves against it. Then I found my center to my tabletop, my center to my apron on all 4 sides, and I just make sure that they align perfectly. And if they don't worry about it. You can kind of move things around a little bit. Once everything was aligned, I then just do a quick little outline in the event things move out of the way or things get budged. Then I put my scrap 2x4 on the tabletop. I find how many cards fit between the 2x4 and the leg assembly. I cut that number in half, and that's what I'm going to use for spacing. Then I put a bunch of glue. I lay it down onto the tabletop. I'm going to use my playing cards. The same halved number of the original number is what I'm going to put on all 4 sides. That way you have equal spacing on the front, the back, and the sides. Once that is all dry, I'll go ahead and brad nail it into place. Wait, scratch that. Before it dries, I brad nail it into place. That makes more sense. Then I do to one side what I did to the other side. Eventually everything will be cured. Then I'll remove the apron assembly and legs from the tabletop, and I'll start rounding all my corners using a hand sander. You could use a router. I personally have learned to not use a router anymore because of chip out, especially on the edges. But anyway, that's up to you. Then I start working on the bottom portion of the leg assembly. Ultimately, this is going to give it more structure. It's going to keep the legs together. And if they have uneven floors or anything like divots or anything like that onto their floors, this is going to help prevent that. So I just use glue. I do one side, then I do the other side, and I just clamp it in place, making sure everything is flat as possible. Anything that isn't, you can kind of shave a little bit, or I can shave a little bit, but in this case, it turned out pretty well, so I just left it at that. And you see, the assembly is painted black anyway, so it's all good. Now, this finish is general finish high performance flat. I like this product. I've used it a lot, and it's super easy to apply. You basically just lather it in there, you give it a second, and then you wipe off the excess. So that's what I did to the whole table, the top and the bottom. And as you see, it really lets the grain start to pop. And as you see throughout the video, it brings like a nice little amber type finish to the wood, which I like a lot. So again, I lather it on there. I make sure everything's good to go. Once everything's kind of lathered on there, I go ahead with the grain, remove any excess and get all my edges and all that kind of stuff. Then I clean up any kind of spill I made. Then I let it cure. Once that's done, I sand it again and I apply another coat. I sand again and apply another coat. Then I'll flip it over and I'll apply 2 more coats to the bottom. The top will have 3 coats and the bottom will have 2 coats. That plus the waterproof glue that I used should give this any kind of waterproofing that it should need and should not have any problems with it. Anyways, now you can see the importance of having a removable top with my lovely wife and my lovely daughter here helping me out, just so I don't accidentally damage this table because it was going to one of my friends. So tell me what you think. Should tables have removable tops, or should tables have other kind of tops like using C fasteners or 8-figure clips? Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments.